Hey guys, welcome to another summer edition of Palmated Outdoors. It's middle of July, it's hot, it's late afternoon. Pink Cup and I are out here checking some cards and also checking the progress on a couple food plots. As you guys remember in the last video, we installed a couple of box blinds in these two newest plots. But today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about putting in a plot, the placement, strategic plan placement or box blind placement in this case around the plot. So I'll show you around this one a little bit. We'll throw in some aerials as well to give you guys some ideas of what we're looking at. But I think it's something that's not often talked about. Stand placement certainly is, but when you're putting in a plot, some of the things that you want to contemplate, I mean, that's a big investment in both your time and sometimes your money. You want to make sure that you get the best out of the scenarios and really think through the situations that you're going to put yourself in, where you want these deer to funnel through where you can to influence their behavior, and also to give you guys the greatest opportunity for success in the fall. So with that, I'll flip the camera around here. We'll take a little quick tour around, but I want to talk specifically about how we've cleared this area out, what we do use to select the plot to begin with, like the position within the piece of property itself, and also the shape of the plot too. So Pink Cup's out there checking inventory on some chicory and some different variations of clover that we planted in this one. We lined the heck out of this thing this past spring. This particular plot, it's about just a little bit over an acre. It was put in March of this year when it was still freezing and thawing, so the clover worked out pretty well. As you can see, some bare spots in it, but overall for a first year plot, it's looking pretty good. We'll come back in here in the fall and do some more with it. But you'll notice here a lot of these trees, as I kind of pan around here, we've got some open area there, right, rectangular shape, a little bit of an hourglass here. You've got some more trees piled up and laid over there, and then finally another group just right over there. So all in total, this plot is just a little bit over 100 yards long, and it's about 50 yards wide. But one of the main trails coming into this, and there's a box blind here, one of the main trails coming into this just comes off of a bench into a bedding area. It's about 150 yards away or so on an adjacent property. Super thick over there, but there's a nice little bench right here that comes in. You notice that's almost exclusively 20 or so yards from that box blind, so the ideal bow shot situation. Same thing down here. If we were to come down here on the other end of the plot, another trail that comes out on one of these edges of this point comes out right in this corner, but it kind of influences where we put these trees and laid them out. Now obviously these trees are going to go away eventually, right? They're bound to decay, but for the next several years you can see there's not a lot that's going to get through that. So the other reason we put those in those spots, if I were to show the aerial, and I'll plug in some snapshots here, but there's a significant drop off there, and a buck, everybody always talks about hunting inside corners, and I'm a firm believer in that too, in big ag fields and things of that nature. But you've got a buck that can't see through that stuff, right? He's actually got to come in to give you a shot opportunity if he's going to do that. So those trees also help to provide some screen. Not only do they funnel, but they're also going to create a visual screen for a buck. When he's cruising through looking for does, checking out this food source, he's going to have to actually come into the plot to take a look at that. So you can see here again, hourglass shape. It kind of curves out on each side. So, and again, widest width here, it's just over 50 yards. So we set this blind up specifically to target probably morning hunts more so than anything. Get you thermals, that's up the ridge, should rise up in the mornings here. Creek bottom and another bedding area down this way. So ideally, and with the west wind, you can see setting sun over here, right? Our wind's going to cross in this direction or even be into the blind there, and the bulk of this plot will be covered. So you always want to defend yourself against a deer's nose, but this one's strategically set up for morning strategy, thermals, and account for the primary wind that we're going to be in. Taking you down here to our latest plot. This one was dozed in May. Same concept here. You guys can see trees piled up to strategically kind of funnel deer through. Hourglass shape. It's really pronounced here. Same situation on the box blind as I walk down through here. We've got off to our west here, right, 2 draws that come together, 2 points that kind of flush out. And this is more of an afternoon spot, so thermals would be the reverse as we just talked about here. I got a nice little crown there in behind it. This plot particularly, it's about just a little bit over 2 acres, but the same concept applies with that hourglass shape here. So it really chokes in. It's about 45-50 yards at its widest here, so about a 35 or so yard shot from that box blind as they choke in around this stuff, but in a couple of different trails that came in to influence the decision on this stuff. And you'll notice as well here, left some trees back here by the box blind too to kind of shade things. So just some things that you want to think about as you start to formulate, like where would I clear out to put a draw in here. I've got some ag fields on the back of this property that we're just trying to set up staging areas here for this deer. These deer are coming out back in here. And down in this draw back over there, you can see those trees piled up over there. But they're bedded down in these areas, coming out of here, feeding through in the afternoons, ideally right in front of this stand, passing through here, going down a couple benches and back through there and back into some ag fields that we've got in the back side of that. So that's the plan. I want you guys to think about stuff like that as you start to invest your time and your money into things like this. It's a big decision to make on things, and you definitely don't want to get it wrong. So just something to entertain, to consider. Think about where you're going to place stands, whether it be a box blind or your normal stand, your ladder stand, things like that. Certainly you can be mobile with some other stuff, but those choke points I think are key to success, have led to some success for us, and hopefully will lead to success this fall. Okay guys, Pink Cup's grabbed a couple cards out of this plot. We're going to head down into the bottoms and grab a few other cameras we've got set up, get the cards out of those and check them out. I'm sure there's some bucks using that area as hot as it's been down in that cool bottom. So we'll see what we got going there. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. We'll have some more videos coming up here in the next couple of weeks on food plot preparation, getting ready for some of those cool seasons, and get everything set up to ready to sling some arrows this fall. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.